Greetings, everybody. This is Serpentine451 here, and welcome to another episode of Weeb Warriors. Oh, Jordan's not here. He hasn't contacted me in quite some time, but I just thought I might as well get the episode started as we wait for him to actually respond. Well, anyway, let's get on to the reviews. Normally we would have things to joke about and whatnot. Well, to start off with, I think I will save the most entertaining one for last. I'm sure Jordan would feel the same way. So I'm going to start with My Hero Academia. And with this episode, it's continuing the provisional license exam arc. With that comes a lot of struggle that follows that arc. Give me 1 second, folks. Let's see. Alrighty. Well, since he responded to me, I let him know what's going on. I'm sorry, folks. I know, very professional. Oh my goodness. Sometimes when you live in different time zones, it makes making videos. Oh, never mind then. With that, I think I will be by myself this week. Oh well. No harm, no foul. And I will make this episode short. Okay, back to My Hero Academia then. Well, anyway, we have mostly the episode focusing around Todoroki and Yorashi. Basically, those two have beef with each other, and we learn that, still from previous episodes, that Yorashi does not like Todoroki because Endeavor, Todoroki's father, pretty much spurned the young Arashi from Yorashi for an autograph. And all because of the look Endeavor had in his eyes. And then when our boy Yorashi decided to talk to Todoroki, Todoroki had the same look in his eyes that his father did. That's mostly the crux of the episode, and the two working together to fight off against King Orca was really great, too. And having, the other characters interact with each other in that sense as well is very great. We have Midoriya, who played a very small role in the episode. Basically damaged one of Gang Orca's gauntlets. And we have Shino, I think is his name. Or Shinto. Basically, the one who can cause vibrations. He was knocked out by Gang Orca when he used his quirk to stop the goons. But Gang Orca, being part Orca as part of his quirk, used ultrasonic waves to basically disrupt the vibrations in Shinto's body. which paralyzed him, which, funny enough, those ultrasonic waves paralyzed everybody who was affected by it, which is a neat little part of his quirk. And plus, it all ends with the exam pretty much finishing right then and there, trying to leave on a cliffhanger moment. But those who read the manga, who have read that particular part of the manga, knows, like I have, and Jay has as well, that people in Class 1A do not pass in this arc. Spoilers for those who only watch the anime. But I'll leave who doesn't pass to a bit open. And there's a reason why I keep saying in these reviews for each week why Bakugo gets more humbled in this arc in particular. And if you can put two and two together, there you go. But for the others that don't pass, I'll leave that for you to find out. But all in all, the episode itself was great. And just for having these particular episodes of My Hero Academia being this good still, and hopefully having Jay back on the show again. Jordan couldn't join me this week because he has something else to do. That's going to take an hour of his time. But anyway, when the finale hits for My Hero Academia, when it does, Jay will be joining us because he said it himself to me through a personal message. So it'd be nice to hear his thoughts on these episodes leading up to that finale in particular. So, Cells at Work. We basically have an episode dedicated to Killer T, or the Killer T cell, and the Helper T commander, and their backstory, which is really funny. Because the commander was one badass kid in the boot camp, and Killer T was just a scrub who closed his eyes when he was trying to punch people, essentially. And the only way he passed the test was when he was just embarrassed when the commander just took one of his special moves and shouted it at the top of his lungs to get him to pay attention to the combat scenario that they were going through in order to pass, or to become immune cells and whatnot. And I'm sure if Jordan was here, he would explain how it would be more biologically accurate and how funny this particular episode was. And this is another episode, I think, in a long time, because most of the episodes were primarily focused around the red and white blood cells that we've been following throughout the series. And just to have different characters get the focus is really great, too. Then let's move on to... And I can't wait to see the next episode of Cells at Work. Personally for me, because I think that'd just be hilarious. Like I do with every episode of Cells at Work. It's just really funny to me. Then let's move on to How Not to Summon a Demon Lord. This particular episode primarily focuses on a little bit of a potential enemy in our midst in the Paladin Satyr. Or I think it's Satyr, who just eradicates people who worship the Demon Lord. He kills an entire village for that fact. He's a fucking madman. And Alicia is also a bit of a madwoman herself, saying, "Do mortal lives even matter?" Like, holy shit, girl, calm down. Juxtaposed to the episode where Shiera actually gets her own summon in Turkey Shot, which is kind of a funny name for a summon, where its whole ability is that it can see for the summoner while it's in the air and whatnot, but it takes up magical energy, which really makes me laugh to no end. And Diablo sees the merit in actually having a summon with that capability. And also, Edelgard makes her episode return, like her return to the series after like a few episodes without her, where she basically explains that, hey, I know where the Demon Lord is, I know where her essence is, and I found you, Ram. Because Rem, as we know, is the carrier of the Demon Lord, Crixum. Then, in order for... Then, Edelgard pretty much says, I know the ritual to summon the Demon Lord, and we're going to take care of it. And Diablo is like, yeah, I'm going to destroy the Demon Lord and be a complete badass about it. And then Edelgard's like, yep, okay, wait 3 days' time at Starfall Tower, and we'll get it done. And everyone's like, all right, bet. But essentially, they had a little bit of a detour when Satyr and a few of the other paladins in his troop decide to gang up on our plucky protagonists, along with Alicia in tow, in which is really funny because Satyr was basically saying it's God's will, the gods will pretty much own your sorry asses, and almost choked Rem out to death for her basically saying, dude, you're being rude, get out of our faces. And then it took Diablo saying, yeah, you're just using simple spells and saying that it's divine intervention. And when Satyr tried to cast in a petrifying spell, he got that reflected back onto him, which is really good. So I cannot wait to see the Demon Lord actually being summoned. I'm sure Rem will actually survive. And I'm pretty sure also Diablo would kick the ass of the Demon Lord, which I can only assume will be another harem member of poor Diablo. Excuse me, everybody. Diablo's growing harem collection as an interesting entry in the annals of harem kings. But speaking of harem kings, Unit in the Haunted Hot Spring, by far one of the best episodes this week. Well, Cells at Work will always be funny, but this particular episode, we get to see the full power of our boy, One Punch Monk, as I like to call him, or Yagarashi. This man decided to punch the stomach of a dragon god. That was amazing. Well, essentially, the episode is, we're going to rescue Yuna still from the dragon god, and we learn a little bit about Obero's past and her connection to Ginshiro, where essentially she was born from the tail of a dragon, Ginshiro's mother, but not born of her, like an actual infant. And so she's basically, I'm a sword, I'm going to do badass shit and make sure that the Ryuga clan is secure. So that's why she's been gathering women with spiritual power. And so she actually Obero gets to fight Sagiri, and she beats our little ninja girl to a bloody pulp. I mean, as bloody as this show can possibly get. And then when all hope seemed lost, Nanko and Yaya come in for the rescue, thanks to our little Tanuki friend running away in the nick of time to basically save herself from getting used like a pincushion by Obero. And then everything pretty much ended comically, as the series tends to do. After Ginshiro was beaten by just one punch, Obero decided to fight Kogarashi. Fucking hell, man. Yeah, Kogarashi started losing because he said he can't fight a woman, and Obero is a woman, which is really, really hilarious. But all things considered, they fooled Ginshiro thinking like both Sagiri was a ghost and that his love and affection helped them ascend to heaven since Yuna is a ghost. And he's like so moved by the fact that they loved him that much that they went to heaven. All this is due to a trick that our little Tanuki friend pulled on him, since she can create doubles of herself to essentially do anything. And the episode ends where Obara decides, you know what? If I'm going to make the Ryuga clan powerful, I'm going to have children with this fucking spirit medium. Well, I can understand where she will get that little impression and all that strength and whatnot, since he has had spirits possessed him that can do a whole bunch of crazy shit for convenience sake. But all in all, this episode was just amazing and perfect. And Jordan did tell me to look out for this episode in particular. I'm like, I can understand why you said that, man. Good lord. So anyway, that's all with the reviews, and let's go to the Otaku Soapbox for this week, and I'm going to keep it pretty short. So the topic for this week is not going to be from my buddy Jeffrey, but it's something that I was sitting on for at least the entire day today. How difficult is it to get non-anime fans into anime? Well, in a way it can be, depending on who you're referring anime to. If it's like a friend, I mean, if you know your friend very well, you play to their tastes. And I'm sure because this is like, what, episode 16, and we've had many Otaku Soapbox discussions. And I'm sure we haven't covered this particular topic, but for me personally, as someone who have gotten into anime through friend recommendations, it's at first, when I was more in high school and whatnot, and I was really enamored by it, and it played to my infatuation with just out of pure curiosity. But when I'm trying to recommend anime to my friends, I mostly play their taste. Like a buddy of mine who I've been friends with for over 20 years. Yeah, over 20 years. He and I differ personality-wise, but he and I have similar tastes in what we enjoy. And when I introduced him to and you guys know how much I'm a fan of this particular series, but when I got him into Fate, he really liked the concept behind it. And that was really great. And, for the best way to simplify this topic, it all depends on, like, the person's preferences. Like, if they love romance, they love comedy, and are they okay with actually reading subtitles? Or if that anime that you're going to recommend has a dub, are they going to enjoy the dub? Because I freely got to admit that looking into a lot of anime that have dubs, and I can easily recommend those to people because they're in a language that people can understand and there's a lack of reading. But if you want to get into anime and you want to watch the current stuff that doesn't have dubs yet, or the simuldubs don't come out or aren't available right at that moment, then yeah, I would suggest that you just play to that person's taste if you know them very well, especially if they're a family member. So yeah, that's essentially it. And yet another short episode. And hopefully I catch you guys next week, hopefully with Jordan in tow, for another episode of Weeb Warriors. And I may have more videos posted tomorrow, but since I'm trying to cut down on a lot of stuff for the new move-in, I might be busy that day too, and plus I might be going out with a buddy of mine, the same buddy that I was referring to. So, this has been Serpentine 451. Catch you guys later for another rousing episode of Weeb Warriors.